hey, did you say you had a limo? And I said, yeah, as a matter of fact, we do. He goes, would you have space in it to take the Doobie Brothers back to their hotel?
It's the Scott and Alley Not for Air podcast. The rules are gone. The shirt is untucked. Here's Scott and Alley.
I'm just going to pre-warn everybody, this could be a mess today, but it could be one of the best messes that we've seen unfold in a long time. So welcome to the Scott and Alley Not for Air podcast. We have a guest with us, which was literally not planned. I told Allie, I said, hold on. We're going to tell a story that I talked briefly about on the show. And I said, if we're going to tell this story, I got to bring in the guy that was right there as part of this story, a major part, and probably will remember details that I don't even remember. So I want to introduce to everybody a long time, JB, what, 25 years or so we've known each other?
Probably hitting 30.
Oh, wow. 30 years.
Are you guys high school friends?
No, well, JB, do you want to tell everyone how we met, or do you want, you tell everyone how we met?
Oh, tell us your love story.
Yeah.
Well, I was in the bathroom at a place called the Cathode Ray here in Buffalo, and
this tracks already.
Yeah.
Scott and I met, and he proceeded to tell me about his oral talents, and
he looked lovingly into your eyes.
None of this is true.
No. Didn't we meet because you left one of the location vans for the station that you worked up you at 102 up here in Buffalo?
Never worked for 102. But
okay, Scott, how did you meet?
So if you don't remember 102, then
I remember 102, but I don't know if I worked for them ever up there when they were.
You had their you were supposed to do a location
live broadcast.
Live broadcast, yes. Are you sure that wasn't when I was with 107 up there?
No, it was either 98 or 102. I don't know.
Oh, it could have been 98. Could have been KISS 98.5 up there.
Okay, so you had a live broadcast, and he left the vehicle there?
No, he left the people there and left the broadcast and went out partying in the party van. So
that's also not true.
Wait, what party van? What are you guys talking about?
None of this is true.
You had the van.
Okay.
And so, anyways, they let him go, and
wait, they fired Scott?
No, none of this is accurate.
I'm telling you, it is. You just don't remember your memory right now at your age, and
right.
Because you don't have the hair to hold in those extra memories.
Right, it just floats right into thin air.
Or the story could have actually gone like this.
Oh, let's hear it.
Let's
hear your version.
Okay, so I was in my early career days of radio. I had worked for a couple different stations up in the Buffalo area, and I was also doing nightclub DJing as well as mobile DJing. Well, I was working with, at the time, a country radio station up there, and it was, I think, 107.7. And
wait a second. I got to interrupt you. I got you the job at 107.7.
Oh.
Yes, you did. He did. So that happened after. Okay, so I did meet you before I worked at 107. I think I applied. So JB was the head DJ at a country nightclub called Howdy's up in Buffalo. It was huge. It was
you guys were line dancing to
completely.
We were actually the biggest club in Buffalo.
It was huge. It was,
but we had a top 40 night. I mean, we weren't exclusively country. So.
Oh no, I love the boot scoot and boogie.
Oh, and it was the era.
Oh my God.
It was the era of line dancing. I mean, this would be, JB, there were a couple thousand people that would show up on those nights and to see, and this dance floor was huge, right?
Yep.
So you'd see the old, my tractor is John Deere green or whatever the hell the songs
you think
were.
My tractor sexy.
All these old songs that, people would line dance to. So anyway, JB was the main house DJ, but I think you needed a night off at some point. So it became one of these things where it was like, well, we're going to see who else can come in and do DJing. So I came in, JB and I met, and immediately we clicked. I had so much damn fun with JB that it got to the point where his nights off, he wouldn't even be off. He'd come in, we would all just hang out. We were glued together for a few years while that nightclub was doing its hottest thing. Then
essentially, he interviewed you.
JB interviewed me.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you did get me the job at the radio station there because you knew the owners of that radio station and helped me get in there, which I'm very grateful for because that was helping to pursue the path of my career. Mm-hmm. And then also...
Although funny, he didn't work in radio.
No, but knew a lot of the people. And then also, Howdy's opened a sister club in Rochester by
called
the name
Duties?
of Hoo-Ha's.
I like Duties better.
Yeah, Duties.
Wait a second. Was this a strip club?
No, this was another giant country style nightclub similar to Howdy's, but it was in Rochester instead of Buffalo. And they said,
Hoo-Ha's.
would you like to go back and forth and do it? So I did a night up there. JB and I would hang out. Well, anyway, JB and I became close friends.
Yes.
Living there. And we did a lot of crazy things and had a blast doing stuff.
I do love that when we first called JB, he said, thanks for waking me up from a nap. And it's 11 something in the morning.
Yeah. And do you want to tell everyone what you do now, JB?
Well, I don't do anything really. I contribute to the the CO2 emissions as I exhale. So I figure it helps the trees. So other than that, I take my meds. Took them about 5:30 in the morning. Got a little drowsy. Went to sleep.
Oh, okay.
And now I'm being made fun of because I'm sleeping at 11 o'clock in the afternoon.
Not at all.
Well, you sound like every person who is retired and old. Hey,
but he's not old. But he's like my age.
I know, but I woke up at 5:30. And then I took a nap.
Well, I got to make sure I make it for the dinner special. I got to leave here at about 3:30.
That's right.
Perfect.
Scott said you're rich.
Well, that's the thing. JB is the...
Do you like how I just came out with it? I'm like, what's your credit score?
This guy's the wealthiest guy I know, and I have never known in my entire life, except for the DJing thing, which was sort of a side hustle. I never knew what you did, and I promise you, he will not tell us the truth on this,
and
will
you be my sugar daddy?
Well, absolutely. If you can deal with Buffalo, come on up. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could make the trek down to Elmira.
Well, I mean, we got plenty of sticker stores, so we can keep your supply high.
What do you want to say? What you did for a living?
He'll never tell you the truth.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go into the Doobie story.
Part of what I did for a living is we repoed heavy equipment for companies like John Deere and Caterpillar and tractor trailer trucks for the big, big guys out there like Kenworth, Peterbilt, stuff like that.
That's all you had to say. Once you repo, you're rich.
So let me tell you what he really said.
We did it all over the country. We didn't even do any, many, but we didn't do them ourselves. We had a network of people that we had hired around the country, and then we would have those and people go and pick up these vehicles. Not all of them were for repo. Some would come back to these yards, and we'd sell them for the finance companies. And so we had 5 different business units. I'm going to keep it short.
Did you ever go into any of, like, you said, like, bigger trucks and stuff like that and take the stuff out? Because I've had my car towed a handful of times, especially in college. So so what would happen is, and I went to school close to Ohio State. So what would happen is is it was notorious that they would go in your car and take stuff out of your car. Did you ever go in the car, and did you ever find anything really cool in the car besides just like a trucker bomb?
Well, we found big old bags of weed, like really big ones.
Nice.
The blow up dolls. I would always give them to Scott.
Yep. I still have Angel.
If there was one thing that we found more than anything else, it was the dolls, the sex dolls. Scott, you would know all about.
Right.
Angel still lives in the basement. Yes.
The trucking life and the doll thing and the lot lizards, all that is true.
All that is, the lot. It's all true. It's all true from what I hear.
Right.
That's what my guys would tell me.
Let me
so
guess.
what you're saying is that you're not hooking up with Large Marge?
I really can't talk about Large Marge.
I'm surprised he didn't answer. Why don't you ask Scott about the lot lizards? So basically what JB just said, and I'll translate it down. If you've ever seen Ozark, this was the best put together front for money laundering I've ever heard in my life.
No joke.
Congratulations to you.
Let's hear the Doobie Brothers story.
Okay.
So you guys actually met the Doobie Brothers?
Yeah, well, sort of. And this is why JB's in on this. Now, he's already laughing.
I love it.
So I got to take you through part of the story. So JB, on the show, we found out that HBO is making a documentary about yacht rock. And one of the bands mentioned was the Doobie Brothers. Because, let's face it, you've got the captain, if you will, of yacht rock.
Michael McDonald.
Yes, exactly.
You got Doobie Brothers, Steely Dan, Hall & Oates. I'm trying to think who else was listed in that. But you get what we're saying, like that total chill rock.
So JB, and if I remember the story right, and you're here to fill in all the blanks, or tell the story maybe the right way if I take us the wrong way. So JB, I'll never forget it. He goes, "Hey, I've got I think it was 4 tickets to the Doobie Brothers. They were playing a outdoor concert in Buffalo, and we had all decided to go. And at the time, I was single." I don't think you were married to Kim yet. You two were together, but I don't think you were married.
Yeah,
yet.
we had gotten back together. She left me for some whatever. And we had just gotten back together.
By the way, does anyone else feel like JB's voice sounds like the kid on Family Guy? Not Stewie, but the other one?
Chris?
Yes. Has anyone ever told you that?
When my hair was longer, it would go out like this, and I'd look just like Chris. The resemblance,
uncanny.
Everything is uncanny,
alarming, right?
Ridiculous.
So
I am the grown version.
So we had, and let me tell you, this guy's got more stories than not. But we're gonna keep this on track.
Doobie
for this.
Brothers, yes.
So we had said, I was single at the time, and I think I asked you. I said, well, is there anybody you can hook me up with? Is there anybody that would want to go that you could introduce me to? Or it was one of Kim's friends that said I don't know how it came about. There was a girl.
I got to say this. It had nothing to do with me because I would not have done that to you.
No. Well, and we'll share that part of it. Was it one of Kim's friends, your wife?
It was one of a friend within the circle of friends.
Okay. So now there's going to be 4 of us going to the Doobie Brothers. It would have been a first date for me.
Wow.
And my wife won the tickets.
Oh, okay. Yep, she
won the tickets.
Yeah. So she
and she legitimately knew the question. You had given out a trivia and. What was it that Marcus Welby, LMD, whatever TV show? Nobody would have ever known it. You asked the question. She actually got it right. We were standing under the booth, and she yelled it up. Whoever. And she did win. So she won legitimately.
Okay.
This was not a scam.
I don't remember that part at all, but I'll take his word for it.
We did a trivia, and she actually got it. So
okay,
that's how. Then we invited Scott and his what would you like to call it?
First date.
The blind date. I'd never met her.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'd never met her.
Okay.
I have to take a quick call because I think it's the school calling. Can you guys bear with me for 1 second, and I'll pick up for the second?
Why am I always bearing with him?
I know. I know. He's such a pain in the ass, isn't he? He's always got
So, Ellie, it's finally good to meet you. I've heard so much about you, and I was supposed to take a truck down to Elmira. I can't tell you how many times, and
you never came. This is actually a really cute area.
Yeah.
You need to come visit.
Well, I've driven through. If I take the Southern Tier when I go to New York and back, but never got a chance to stop.
Oh, you need to.
You'll be down to visit. Anyway,
Yes.
back to it. So it is now JB, his future wife, Kim, who is a wonderful person. You will love her, Allie, if you get the chance to meet her.
Gotcha. Then how are you going to be my sugar daddy?
Well, I guess I should ask.
I hope Kim's okay with that.
What she doesn't know.
Well, I'm Mormon, so.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I want to be one of those future wives of Mormon. What is it? Future lives of Mormon. Yeah, I want to be on that Mormon show.
I'll take another one.
So, and just to make sure, Kim is still alive and she's well, and you're together, right?
I can't comment on that.
Okay. Well, at any rate, so here we are,
Scott.
four tickets, and now we're going, and I'm hooked up with a blind date that I have no idea how we got to this point. I had made the suggestion because one of the companies that I worked for when I was doing mobile DJing back in the day was a limo company that also had a DJ service, and I was one of their DJs for weddings.
Giorgio's Limousine Service.
There it is, a good old shout out. So, and nice limo. So we said, let's take a limo to go to the Doobie Brothers.
Perks of work.
How priceless. I mean, early 90s, but like what, 93 or something, or 92. So not only this first date, but now I booked a limo, and there's four of us going, to the Doobie Brothers.
At this point, Scott, you're marriage material. This is like green flag, green flag, green flag.
Actually, there was more than four of us. I don't know if you remember, some of one of the owners' daughters came, and somebody else. So we actually had like 6 tickets.
Party!
8 tickets. I mean,
all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when we got to the concert, Scott's date apparently knew the band. It was like that.
No, she didn't. She met the band. I'll fill in this blank.
No. She knew the band because it was like Almost Famous. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes,
movie,
I do.
Almost
With Kate Hudson.
So she gets in, and they got the guy in front, the back room door.
Mm-hmm.
And the backstage door, I should say.
Because she's a roadie.
And, what's that?
Because she's a roadie, essentially. Because she, if anybody hasn't seen the movie, it's that she was kind of like a groupie. Not a roadie, a groupie.
Yeah. And so, Scott's date was Kate Hudson's character. And so she gets backstage. She goes, hold on a second.
Yep.
I'm going to get back there, and because I know a couple of the guys, because apparently she had met up with a couple of the guys, everywhere they go.
Yeah.
So she got backstage. That's how we got hooked up with the Doobie Brothers. Scott, you want me to just run through this whole?
Well, but you're forgetting the important part about this. So,
which is what?
What happened was,
the important part is what you forgot.
No, we're getting to that. That's the part that really that's the top level. So I don't remember the part about her knowing the band or anything. I remember we get there. I remember we picked her up.
Well, she wouldn't have told you before we had gone.
Well, maybe that's what it was. So I remember when we picked her up, I was, shall we say, and this was a much different time in my life. I might have been a little bit more shallow. Not saying I'm not shallow. I'm just saying a little more shallow at that point. And let's just say the hit off wasn't there. Now, I remember
I see what you're saying.
we got to, well, there's some defining features on to one of the reasons why the shallowness comes into play. Not a proud moment, but I'll get there.
Okay.
So we're at the outdoor, venue where this takes place in Buffalo. And I remember she stayed around for a while. She did not just go backstage. Like she was with us for a while, but we weren't
when we walked, when we got out of the limo, she made a beeline. She was right there. She's like, I'm gonna get you guys in. Well, she wasn't able to get us in.
Okay.
But she went right there. I mean, that's something that like I would remember. Maybe Scott would not, because that's something you try to put out of your memory.
Right.
But
Tuck away.
Scott, don't worry. I am the gatekeeper to all these secrets, and I remember very well. And we were like, wow, she knows the guys from the band.
But she never got backstage with that trick, did she?
Yeah, she did, because that's what sets up the rest of the story. Is after the concert, a couple of the Doobie Brothers, if I can talk here, a couple of the Doobie Brothers. I haven't done any Doobies, but I can't say it. A couple of the Doobie Brothers needed to ride back to the hotel, and they had rented out the bar, and we were going to have a private event. So we ended up.
And when he says a couple, we're talking no less than 4. Like this was 4 of at least the Doobie Brothers.
Right. That we gave a ride back to the hotel.
In the limo.
Yes. By the way, the Holiday Inn on Niagara Falls Boulevard.
The Holiday Inn on Niagara Falls Boulevard on the 290.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great area, really upscale.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. right by the Boulevard Mall. I mean, it
sounds
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we gave him a ride back to the hotel, and we thought we were entitled for some kind of compensation.
Now hold right there for a second, because we're going to come back to the compensation. So while this was unfolding, that the Doobie Brothers, and you got to remember, this wasn't all the original Doobie Brothers. In fact, there were a couple young guys, which were related to the Beach Boys, believe it or not, like their sons or something, that were on tour to fill in the gaps of what Doobie Brothers weren't there. So you may have had the Doobie Bros, and then you had, there was these,
the bros.
The fill-ins. And one of the guys was a pretty attractive, like if he was one of the Beach Boys' sons or nephews or something, pretty, younger, more attractive than, say, the old biker-looking Doobie Brother guy, right? So I remember being backstage at that point. We weren't in contact with the Doobie Brothers yet. They were in their dressing room, which ironically looked like a gigantic outhouse at this place. And the sound guy for the whole place, I knew through a different DJ company I worked for, Big Joe from Indigo Sound. He did the sound for this place. Now, he was the one that told me, and he came up to me, he goes, "Hey, did you say you had a limo?" Because I was telling him, yeah, we came up to see the show in a limo and all this. And we were backstage thinking we were just going to meet the Doobie Brothers. That was it. It was going to be the end of the night. Wow, nice to meet you. Great show, this and that. This is my date that I have no interest in. Moving on. And Joe comes up to me on the side, and JB, you were somewhere else at this point. And he goes, "Hey, did you say you had a limo?" And I said, "Yeah, as a matter of fact, we do." He goes, "Would you have space in it to take the Doobie Brothers back to their hotel?" So at this point, this is like, oh my God, this is better than waiting around to shake somebody's hand that really doesn't give a crap to meet you. It's like an opportunity to hang with the Doobie Brothers or the Doobie Bros and a couple of other people filling in.
Yeah.
So next thing we knew, and JB's right, on our way to the Holiday Inn on Niagara Falls Boulevard, we packed into that limo. JB, there must have been 12 of us in like a 8 or 10 seat limo. I mean,
I think we made the women walk.
Yeah, it was that packed, right? So here we all are in there, and we get back to the hotel. Now, you take it from there. I had to set up how we were connecting into the Doobie Brothers part of the story.
I did not know your part of the story there, and how we got the Doobie Brothers in this car. We got back to the Holiday Inn, And we proceeded to have a great old time at the bar. All, 8 of us, I think.
It wasn't packed. Yeah.
Well, because we assumed that the drinks were on the house. I mean, we gave the guys a ride to the hotel. They invited us in. It was a private party. We assumed the drinks were on the house. My wife and I, at one point, decided we were going to go check out the limo. We were only going to go and see the interior. We were going out to the limo just to, kind of get an idea of the upholstery and stuff like that. We didn't have anything else in mind. And when we went in the limo, we happened to notice that the saxophone player was trying to shave Scott's date's ears off her mole on her face. But no, that part of the story actually comes later when Scott got all pissed off, and then
what? Okay, Scott, connect some of these dots for me.
So, yes, she had a gigantic mole. Was it on her cheek or the middle of her forehead? I don't remember.
That's the thing
it was here, wasn't it? It was a big one.
Yeah, kind of right there, I guess. Here, there, whatever.
It was more than a mole. It was.
Was it like mole, mole, mole?
Yes, it was mole, mole, mole. It was huge.
Well, yeah, and Scott proceeded to do all that stuff. Mole, mole, mole.
Well, there's a reason for it. So JB was partly right. As we were all in thinking it was this semi-private event, and that the Doobie Brothers, having been given a ride back to their hotel a good 35 minutes away by foot, probably 2.5 hours, that they were going to buy us a couple drinks. Now, we were only there for a couple hours. It wasn't like we were overly getting, blasted or anything like that. I mean, maybe we were. It was the early 90s. I don't remember.
But still, you took them in a limo.
So JB and his then future wife, Kim, who I still think is your wife and alive. I'm not sure. Maybe by the end of the podcast we'll know.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. But I'm concerned. Kim's wonderful.
I'm concerned now, too. Why are you so concerned about
right?
Because she's actually the nice one of your relationship to me. So anyway, I'm still in the bar, and JB and Kim come in to the bar, and JB, in his, ever subtle charm, goes, "Dude, one of the Doobie Brothers is fucking your date." He's laughing because he knows it's true.
Well, yeah. So while we went in, and they actually invited us in
to the limo.
Hey, come on in, and we're like, do we take a key out of the fishbowl when we come in? No. So we actually went in the limo for a short time and got to witness some things that, when you see things and they're burned into your memory and you'll never get rid of them. That's still there.
I guess in her defense, we should say it was not one of the old men of the Doobie Brothers that was there. It was one of the younger guys.
No, he was one of the the Doobettes.
Yeah,
he was one of the kids. But no, he was the sax player, and we're just like, oh no, we got to get out of here. We just got to get out of here.
So now this is where everything begins to turn. So JB,
we're just not into that thing. We gotta get out of here.
So JB comes back into the bar, finds me, and I, like I told you, he tells me what's going on. Mm-hmm. So I go outside at this point, and I don't know if they were finished or what, or getting out of the limo, but at this point JB's right. We gotta go. So we go, and it's now JB. I don't even remember if we dropped the date off. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was when we were in the limo and you were doing the moly.
Oh yeah, I was a little bitter.
And you wanted to stop at CVS to pick up a shaver so you could shave the 3 long ears coming out. However you described it. So
you said this in front of her face.
Yeah.
Scott?
So I was hurt.
Oh yeah. Let's stop at CVS so we can get her a shaver.
So I was hurt.
Oh, this sounds so scot-free.
I am. So I was hurt. And,
okay.
And
I was hurt by this blind date.
Well, I was hurt by a blind date who decided that I wasn't even worth spending a little bit of time getting to know or talk to, but clearly well enough to know the Doobie Brothers to have sex with them in the limo that I provided. This whole thing. Anyway, it was insulting, right?
Yes,
so I'm sure
very.
she felt that way. So anyway, I think we unloaded her, and at that point, I don't remember if we went out longer or not, but it was 2:00 in the morning. Now, at this point, everyone's gone their separate ways. Limo's back safely at home, tucked into its garage. I'm at home. I think JB was at home. Do you remember the phone call that I got?
I remember the phone call you got. It was about some money owed to the bar.
So
What?
I get a call from the limo company that I worked for. Okay, now they protected
Yes,
me.
you were the one that actually, and I remember you gave the Doobie Brothers all. You gave them the limo company's cards.
I don't remember why.
Back in Buffalo, I remember you were handing out the cards. That's how the Doobie Brothers knew the limo company, or knew who to call from the limo company. And so I got a
That's
call.
so scot-free as well.
Oh, I was trying to help out another business.
Absolutely.
The good people.
Yeah.
So at any rate, my buddy who I worked at Giorgio's Limousine / DJ company at the time, he called. It's 2 a.m. and he calls me and he goes, "Hey, what happened in the limo?" And now when I hear this, I'm like, oh my God. This is a company I work for. I don't want to lose, the gigs that I'm getting booked for with them. Did we do damage or something like that? And I remember asking that. And he goes, no, something about you guys drove the Doobie Brothers to the hotel and stiffed them with a bar tab. And I'm like,
oh, my God.
So what actually happened, and in all honesty, we were a lot younger then, and at that time in my life, if I drank 3 screwdrivers, that would have been a lot for me. It was in a shorter period of time, because I think we were drinking screwdrivers, believe it or not, which
God.
I don't know why.
Right. Who wants heartburn at
God.
midnight?
So he goes, yeah, the Doobie Brothers called us and said, you stiffed them with a bar tab. Well, this is my second part of the night and I think I called JB at some point and told him about it. Might have been the next day because it was 2 a.m.
They should have just ate that bar tab.
Well, that's what we said. I explained the whole story to my buddy that called me because the Doobie Brothers wanted my phone number. They wanted to call me and make me.
You're like, you don't get my pussy and my phone number.
And my ride back to your hotel. You don't get all of that.
Come on.
So they protected me in that regard, and it became kind of a laugh, but I'm like, Jesus H. Christ. We give them a ride back. We clearly give them their nightly entertainment, and all we asked for was 3 drinks in return, and they wanted payback. That was
probably because their career wasn't doing so hot at that point. They needed every dollar that they could get.
I think that we had only met one of the original Doobie Brothers.
He's right.
Oh,
It was a complete replacement.
It wasn't Michael McDonald.
No.
No. It was at the bar, and everybody was kissing his ring. I'm the original member, and I don't think the guy could talk or speak very well, and I think he was the drummer.
Yeah,
so,
he was. Yep.
Yeah, so we drank a lot.
I don't remember that at all.
And it's not a hard, I don't know how we did it, but it's not very hard.
Rum and Coke in 1993 was what, $1.50?
At the Holiday Inn bar?
Come on.
On top of it all, it's at the Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
So
right.
It's kind of tough to ring up a bar tab at the Holiday Inn.
Exactly.
He's right. If it was $30, it would have been a lot back then.
It's a step above the VFW.
Yes.
Come on.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
So, needless to say, the limo company protected me. They did not give my phone number to the Doobie Brothers. But it's been a story that has been with us for 30-some years. And yes, the mole really put me off. Oh, yeah. And the mole really put me off. I'm not going to lie. It was crazy. JB, while you're here, and I dread to ask this, Is there any other crazy story that I don't remember from that era that dealt with me or you and me that we could quickly do? Is there anything that comes to mind? Because you and I, we're JB, and admittedly, we have a great friendship, but unfortunately, we don't connect that often. But when we do, it's instantly back like the last time we hung out together, which we do need to hang out together. But, we live in other areas and don't get to see each other that often. Is there anything else that comes to mind?
Yeah, well, Kim is still waiting. Scott was at our wedding, and she's still waiting for the. You put her, I don't know, one of the bands. Well, you put her veil on your head. We have a nice picture of that, which I was.
Oh shit!
Actually, there's. Yeah, I won't say anything. I won't say any more.
No,
Scott has been dressing up in women's clothes since the 90s.
Yes.
It makes so much sense.
Bad. So
he collects dolls, sex dolls,
angels in the basement.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense why Scott was so excited to get me that sex doll for my birthday the one year.
Oh yeah,
he was like, "Oh, I just have to resurrect one for my
the Tiger Woods
treasure chest."
So I forgot about this. JB's right.
You stole his wife's veil, which those are not cheap, by the way.
Now, here's a hidden gem.
That's probably more than that bar tab from the Holiday Inn.
Yeah, yes,
so,
you're right.
You know what? And the statute of limitations for bar tabs does not run out, so we're ringing up a bill here. Let's see. We got the bridal veil. We've got the Doobie Brothers. So what do we got? We've got Scott. We've got you at least on $1,000 now. You're
wow.
The good news, the check's in the mail. Really quick before I remind him of a story from his wedding, because I just remembered now. I'm 99%. You got married downtown Buffalo. What was the hotel?
It was at the Hyatt.
Hyatt, and the bathroom was right next to the bar. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Do you remember my ex-wife and I almost getting kicked out of your wedding because we decided to go consummate our wedding, which was only a few weeks before that, at the hotel bar or the hotel bathroom next to the bar?
I didn't know that was JB's wedding. I've heard that story before.
Yeah, you've heard that one?
Yeah, and there were some things that were broken in the bathroom.
No, that's not true.
Add it to the bar tab.
That is not true.
Add it to the bar tab.
That is not true.
Some other couple was at the stall next to you.
No, it was a single person.
They're actually
bathroom.
now they're in therapy. So.
Oh my Lord! None of you remember that though, right? That we almost.
Was he there with you?
No, the bartender knocked on the door, and they figured out what was happening. I was very early in my first marriage, and
right when you liked each other.
Yeah, when we liked each other. That's exactly right, and we really liked each other at the bathroom right next to the bar in the Hyatt. But the veil thing. I got to come back to that for a minute because, he does have proof. Allie, this is a disgusting trend I have, and I'm going to need to talk to my therapist about this. So apparently I ran around with his wife's veil, and then at our other friend, TJ and Danielle's wedding, I straight up had one of her dresses at one point. You don't remember that? They had pictures of me she had like a white slip underneath it or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
And apparently I wore that at their wedding. So instead of the person that would wear the lampshade around a party at some point. No, it's this guy. I will wear anything from the bride at some point during the evening, if need be.
Even the dress from the drag show last year.
Yep, there was
the white party dress. Yeah. We got it.
This is pattern emerging here, Scott.
Yeah,
it's for years.
We're all accepting, all inclusive here.
Thank you very much. It's a very accepting group.
Thanks for waking me up. I mean, I literally, when you get together with a friend and somebody you've heard about but never talked to, it is always most gracious to give someone no time to wake up, get ready. And my mind is still in a haze, and I am on medication for my medical affliction.
Shocking.
So everything that I'm on is legal. It's the only time in my life that I can get high, and it's all legal.
Perfect.
That's
or on Saturday with me at my live broadcast at Hazy Days. So I'll be at a legal dispensary on Saturday.
Woo.
I'll pick you up something just for you coming on the show.
All right, I'm game.
All right, sweet.
JB, you're great.
All right, we gotta go, JB. It was good seeing you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that was fun. Wasn't that fun? That was fun. Do us a favor, will you? Subscribe. Share the Scott and Alley Not for Air podcast. Touch our buttons. We know you want to.